Here is the Bio 202 page. You can see we have announcements at the top, which is useful. You can see the most recent announcements. Today we have an exam. And on the side of the screen is the to-do list, which the to-do list just lets you know what's coming up next. Our course is organized by modules, which are just these, they look like these bars, and they can expand and collapse, and you can control that by each one just clicking on it or the collapse all. So here we just have some things that they'll need to reference all the time, like a syllabus. We have some resources we recommend. Can show you this. It's just like, help desk or the ARC and different resources specific to the course. And we have our teaching team page, which just has pictures of all of us, and you can see when office hours are. And yeah, we have anonymous feedback. Link is like a anonymous Qualtrics, like a comment box or something like that. And then we have this course logistics Q&A, which isn't anonymous. It's just, if people have questions about how the course is running or any logistical questions, they can add those here. Sometimes I add questions I've asked. I just post them here anonymously and then put a response. So that's what I have at the top. The next thing is this genetics and evolution in the news discussion forum, which there's one for each lab section. So if you're a student, you're just going to see one of these or have access to one of these. And this is something that they're doing throughout the semester. And then the rest of these modules are just week by week. So for every week, we'll have a mix of lectures. There's probably going to be a group problem set, and there's always an individual problem set. So for a lecture, if you click on the page, you can see a link to the slides and the recording, any other resources that are useful with respect to the material in that lecture. And you can see this is a practice group problem set. Here would be the link that students would use to access the group problem set. After it's graded, we post a blank version and a key here. And yeah, just the announcements that are relevant to the group problem set, like what do you do if you can't come? So yeah, every week pretty much looks like that. We have a page for the individual problem set, which looks similar, a page for lecture discussion. So I can also show you what a lab page looks like. So the lab page will say like what the learning objectives of the lab are, the materials for the lab, and any other resources. So the site is pretty simple. It's just set up like this week numbers, but I do put the date next to the week just because I think that helps a lot, just like students hopefully know what the dates are. And yeah, we can look at the calendar here. So this is just showing different things that would appear on the calendar. You're seeing all the lab sections because I think like it's not showing a specific student. So it's more things on the calendar than one student would see. But yeah, the things on the calendar are the labs, when the discussions are closed, when there's a group problem set or when there's an individual problem set due. Like the calendar's super useful just to keep track of what's going on. I have the first part of every lab is just a participation portion. But yeah, you can see what the stimulus looks like, how it's like this part on the left. For this lab, they are doing a little field trip to this room that has a bunch of animal specimens. And so there's questions just about that part you can see that you can scroll through. They're answering some true false questions. They're also uploading if there's an option to do this on paper or on a PDF. So some of them might use like an iPad or something. So they can upload that. And then yeah, you can see the next part. There's a new kind of image for them to consider, and then they can answer questions about that. Here's another part where there's a question and they're answering about that. This was after they watch a video in lab. Here, there's a link to an article and then questions related to that and also some specimens that are in the lab. So yeah, it's just like a way to organize the questions that I find pretty useful.